Hey everybody, Michael from RoyalElements.com. Today we're going to be talking about how to use iron-on printable heat transfer vinyl. We're going to be transferring a printed image onto a cotton shirt, and we're going to be walking through some tips and tricks and go step by step. So we are using our Royal Elements printable iron-on vinyl. It is the dark vinyl version, and it is for inkjet printers. We have instructions on the back, but we are also going to be walking through the instructions in detail. So when we get the pack, we're going to open it up, and with most printable heat transfer vinyl brands, they usually just come with the vinyl sheets. We have an extra set of instructions here, and we also have Teflon or silicone sheets to put over top and protect them. So you're going to want to figure out which side is the printed side. That will be the vinyl side. It will be a different feel than paper. Okay, so we're going to use a Cricut machine. We have a Cricut Explore 3, and we're going to be using an HP DeskJet 3755, a cheaper inkjet printer, but it will still get the job done. So you do need an inkjet printer. You do not necessarily need a Cricut or cutting machine, though it is very helpful to get the job done. So you see me removing the regular sheet of paper, putting in the printable HTV, and now we're going to move on to creating our design, and we are going to use Canva. You see here me going into the Elements tab using Canva Pro, and I'm going to look for a kawaii kind of graphic of an animal, and we're going to settle on this frog right here. So I'm going to select it, and then this is the image we'll be printing out on our printable HTV. This is the image we'll be cutting out and ironing on to our garment. So we can adjust a lot of things in Canva. I like to design all my images here because I can change the colors, change the size, increase the vibrance, saturation. You can really play around with it. You can import images and anything you would like to design. If it's on the internet or you can use your imagination, you can absolutely design it and print it. So I'm going to create a couple of them, downloading this as a PNG file so that it's high quality. And this is what it looks like with a transparent background so that I can import this into Cricut Design Space, the software needed to cut out these designs with our Cricut machine. So in Cricut Design Space, this is a free software, and I'm going to start a new project. I'm going to hit New on the top left. We are going to replace that old project from a previous video, and I'm going to look for the upload button down there at the bottom. I'm going to hit upload image, and then I'm going to browse my computer and look at the download, and there we go. Our kawaii frogs are being imported. Okay, so check to make sure it looks good. You don't need to adjust anything. And so yes, this looks good. Here you need to pay attention. It needs to be a flat graphic for printable vinyl. If this was iron-on vinyl, not printable, you would not have to make that adjustment. But anytime you use printable vinyl, printable sticker paper, it needs to be selected as print then cut. And you can see here auto resize to kind of bring down the file size and make sure it looks good. And I'm going to drag this a bit to reduce the size of the image because I don't really want to cut out a massive graphic. Okay, so I reduced it a little bit. We're going to name this Froggy, just so I can find it for later if I want to redo this project or do another one. And here we can see how it will look on our 8.5 by 11 inch sheet of printable iron-on heat transfer vinyl. I actually don't like this in this instance. It just seems too big and too crowded. So I went back a bit. You can see at the top in the black text, it's about 4.5 inches by 5 inches this time. So it looks like it's not that crowded this time. Should be good to go. Should be able to have our registration marks, and we do not need to mirror printable heat transfer vinyl, okay? It will be put up face first, and so we're going to select our inkjet printer, and we're going to hit print, okay? From here, now that we have this set up in Design Space, we are going to move on to the next step, which would be, we already have loaded our sheet of printable heat transfer vinyl, so it's going to print out with our printer. We connected to our laptop, and Design Space sends this to our laptop. And what you can see here, I made not necessarily a mistake, but because this printer has been dormant, we've been using a laser printer. It's just much better for most printable vinyl projects. But the black ink is really faded. It actually didn't even show up around the outside, but that's okay. We can still work with this. So we need to set a new base material. We need to pay close attention to this. Printable heat transfer vinyl is not the same as adhesive vinyl. Regular adhesive vinyl, it's not the same as iron-on vinyl. It needs to be printable, dark heat transfer vinyl, iron-on vinyl. Okay, so printable, iron-on, dark. This is what we're selecting, okay? You could use a heat press, but we're going to use an iron. It's really the same thing. You want to select the correct material, load it onto your Cricut mat. This is a light grip. I prefer light grip just because it doesn't stick to the back of the paper and cause like the paper backing to stick to the mat as much as a standard grip or especially a heavy grip. So that's what I would recommend to you. So load that up. It doesn't have to be perfectly aligned. The Cricut machine will read the kind of faded cut lines on every corner here, and we'll see where to cut. But make sure it's on the mat and not kind of like off onto the side, so that the whole project actually fits on your 12-inch by 12-inch cutting mat, okay? So we're going to load that. We're going to hit go here, and now our Explorer 3 is going to read these lines. Now, with an Explorer 3, what I noticed is that it does a much better job with reading cut lines, with more precise and quick cuts, and overall it's a better machine than a Cricut Explorer Air 2. We have a viral tutorial on our channel that really helped a lot of people out, and it was with a Cricut Explorer Air 2. What I've noticed over the years, because that's an older model, is it gets miscalibrated. It would not be able to read these cut lines because they're so faint. But in this case, Explorer 3, Explorer 4, Maker, any of the newer models do a really good job. And so you can see it's cutting the outline where that black ink would have printed if our print heads weren't jammed, unfortunately, even after I cleaned them. So we only barely got away with these faded cut lines, but as you can see here, it's no problem. So I cut it out really quickly. You can see a close-up that it did indeed cut correctly. It didn't cut into the image, didn't kind of mess anything up, so we're good to go. And now we're going to go to weeding this portion. So you can see there a hooked weeding tool is on the screen. This is what I would recommend. It would really help to be able to kind of pick this apart and do a little more surgical kind of clean weeding process here. But, you know, I am kind of being a caveman and using my hands, and you can see a bit of the paper backing is getting ripped up. That's okay. What we do not want to happen is for the iron-on vinyl to get ripped up. That would really cause issues, and then we have to redo our project. So taking a closer look, it looks good. You can see kind of the jagged edges of the paper backing. And with iron-on vinyl, this particular variant, we do need to remove the printed vinyl with that heat-activated glue on the back and remove that paper backing. If you just try and iron it on, it's just going to melt into the paper and you're going to be confused. So remove the paper backing. Select your garment. It can be 100% cotton. And so cotton setting roughly for 30 seconds with an iron, which should be around 350 degrees Fahrenheit. But first you want to iron out the garment so that you don't have any wrinkles and it is being applied to a ironed garment and not kind of messed up with any wrinkles that could be there. So try and center it the best you can. Use a silicone or similar parchment paper so that you don't burn the printed ink and the vinyl here. And then just apply some steady pressure for roughly 30 seconds. You don't want to leave your iron on and go and do something and scroll on Instagram Reels and forget and then burn your house down. That would be terrible. So yeah, just use your best judgment, steady pressure, roughly 30 seconds. If you have a heat press, follow the heat press instructions. It won't take as much because, you know, it's designed to have a lot more heat and pressure here, but an iron works perfectly fine. And the garment can either be 100% cotton or a cotton and polyester blend. Do not use any material like rayon or anything that would actually shrink or potentially melt with heat. So you have to be very careful with that. Cotton is always safe though. So do this for about 30 seconds. It'll heat activate the glue on the back of the printable iron-on heat transfer vinyl. And then you'll just take a quick look to make sure it looks good. And then I always like to stretch it out at the end to make sure it doesn't like crack or fade. And so a couple of pro tips here: stretch it out and then always use dark iron-on vinyl. It's much better than light. Because with dark iron-on vinyl, it tends to be a thicker, heavier material, and you can use it on everything. If you only use light iron-on vinyl, it would look a bit washed out with a kind of a clear background. And then when you wash this, do not use bleach, tumble dry on low heat, and ideally turn it inside out like this so that your design looks good and it lasts a long time. Thanks for watching. Click the video to watch more.